It's a tool for self-realization and self-actualization. It takes awareness and it takes a kind, loving look at what you're doing and how you can shift that to create the impact that you want. Astrology as a strategy is not something outside of yourself. Astrology as a strategy is waking up that part within yourself that might have been dormant for a while, that might have been asleep and is ready to be woken up. Welcome to the Astrology as a Strategy podcast. I'm your host, Patricia Panassi. I'm on a mission to help you amplify your influence so you can free up time to spend with your family while increasing your revenue. I'm an astrologer, business mentor, an adventure seeker, and a proud mama of 3 kids. Think of this podcast as your shortcut to more joy and ease in your business. Running a business is joyful, and when you're not having fun, you haven't cracked the code yet, but that's about to change. I share practical and short tools how to use astrology in your business and life. So let's get started on using your energy strategically to make a bigger impact, have more free time, and grow your wealth. What is astrology as a strategy, really? In this episode, I am going to unpack how to use astrology strategically in your business and in your life, and what the foundational pieces are for that. So let's start with the first one. Astrology cannot predict anything. Oh, that's disappointing, I know, right? But despite common belief, and maybe like popularized belief, astrology cannot predict anything. What it is that it is a tool for self-actualization and self-realization. It gives you insights and information on your own personal blueprint and how you can interact with the movement of the planets right now. Because astrology is based on free will. It doesn't dictate, it doesn't force you to do anything. It simply gives you inspiration and insights into how you can respond. I like to use the analogy that it gives you 2 options. It either gives you the options to go with the energy, or it gives you the option to fight against the energy. Now, you probably would understand that going with the energy usually is a little bit easier. But in reality, sometimes when you go with the energy, it's actually more painful. In the end, it will bring you greater results. But when you are faced with the decision, you can either hide and numb the pain, or you can face the pain, face the discomfort, face the uncomfortable feeling, and then work with that in order to grow. That's basically what astrology is based on. In history, horoscopes were invented to sell more newspapers. Horoscopes in and of itself are not wrong, and they're definitely speaking the truth, but it will be interesting that 1/12 of the population, because we have 12 zodiac signs, would have a similar day, a similar week, or a similar month. Horoscopes are giving a very broad overview. And the way that we use it is in a very general way. When we talk about astrology, that is very personal. That is based on your personal astrology chart. The day that you were born, the time that you're born, and at the location that you're born, that casts a very unique chart, a unique blueprint to you that gives you the information on how you respond to certain things, how you show up in the world, what your destiny is like, the energy that you come into this world with. If you understand your own blueprint, if you understand what are your strengths, what are your talents, but also what are your weaker sides, how can you acknowledge them, know what they are, and then grow with them, evolve, and understand your inner workings, because really that is what astrology is about. The way to use it strategically is, first of all, what I said, understanding your talents. Also, understanding your shadows. What is it that you need help with? And I think this is one of the key things, especially for female entrepreneurs, is that we need to learn all the things, do all the things, because that will make us feel worthy. Astrology will help you to understand that you don't need to do everything yourself. There are certain things, certain tasks that aren't in your zone of genius. But there are other people whose zone of genius is exactly what you need. Astrology will teach you and show you in very simple ways how you do that. Astrology as a strategy is really based on the cyclical nature of life. We have 4 different levels. In nature, in your body, we all go through different stages. The patriarchy doesn't really want us to go through those stages. The patriarchy wants us to be in springtime and summertime all the time, full production mode, and never take a break, never rest. Astrology teaches us that you go through different seasons. And it's like a spiral. It is not like a circle where we keep going back. Like in nature, spring, summer, fall, winter, we don't repeat those over and over and over again at the same level. No, it's like a spiral. Each time, yes, we experience the same season, but we have up-leveled. We have been through that before, and now we move up the spiral. And we move one layer up. So each time we reach the same season in our life or in our business, we have been able to up-level. And the more you understand these cycles, the more ease and grace you invite into your life and into your business. So the 4 seasons that I'm referring to, the spring, summer, fall, winter, is really literally what it's about when you look at nature. What is springtime about? Sprouting seeds, setting intentions. Things are starting to grow, but not yet visible. Some seeds have sprouted, they pop their heads above the soil, but that's about it. Summer is about full bloom, full visibility, really out there. Everything is visible. The flowers are blooming, the leaves are on. And then we move into fall time. Slowly the leaves starting to fall. The flowers have finished their bloom. And we are starting to come into a reflective mode. We look back, we evaluate, we assess where we're at. And then when winter comes around, it's a time for resting. It's when all the animals go into hibernation. It's when everything slows down in nature. And while we are very familiar with those seasons in nature, we ignore them in our business. We ignore them in our daily life. But if you have a project, they have the same 4 seasons. You start up with the idea. You start to work on it. You start to shape the project. You start to see it come to life. Then in the summertime, you put your new project out there. You announce it to the world. You have people that come, that buy it. You get interaction. There is all of this buzz going on. Then in the fall time, you reflect. How was this project? Was it successful? How much revenue did it bring in? What are the things we can learn from? How can we readjust, and when we launch it the next time, it will be even better? Now, this is often a phase that gets ignored, the reflection part. Because we had a launch, whether it was successful or not, we kind of want to skip over this part. It might be that your launch wasn't as successful as you hoped, so you kind of want to skip over it and ignore, like, oh, let's just leave it. I don't want to look at it. But this is time where you can actually really create that up level, where you look at, what has worked, what hasn't? What are the things I can tweak so next time that I launch, it'll be more successful? Or the reflection period may be that you realize that this project wasn't giving you satisfaction. Maybe you weren't fully committed. Maybe the revenue part was successful, but maybe you weren't feeling it. We need this time to really assess where we're at. Because when we come into the winter phase, the rest phase, which is also a phase that generally in the masculine society gets ignored, to rest. 'Cause how do we come up with new ideas? Is when we rest. For instance, like when you're really trying to solve a problem, when you go dive in and you really try to use your rational mind and push and like, I need to find a solution. But the moment you step into the shower or the moment that you go out for a walk, that's when the ideas hit you. That's the moment where you go like, oh my goodness, I haven't thought about that before. That is the winter phase. That is the rest. And you can even see these 4 different seasons in your day. You can see this in a week. You can see this in months, even years. And every part of your life can be in a different season. Now, I was in winter time for a long time. I had a baby last year, took a longer maternity leave than I planned. I was really in resting mode. And then when I thought I was going to springtime, I actually moved back into wintertime. And this is the understanding of these seasons and understand that life is cyclical. We don't always go from spring to summer to fall to winter. Sometimes we jump from spring back into fall, then we jump into summer, then it's winter. It can be all over the place. But the important part is to understand and to, there we have it again, embody the season that you're in, understanding what it feels like in your body. It's okay to jump around. It's okay to go back and forth. But understanding and embodying the seasons and the cycles that you're in is really important. To use this strategically helps you to plan ahead. It helps you to see the bigger picture. Especially when we are working really hard on a certain project and we're trying to hammer it down and all of our attention goes to it, we kind of forget to take a step back and to feel into the situation, feel into the project that we're working on. How can we use that in a different way? It's really approaching life with curiosity, opposed to thinking this is how everything needs to be done. Within your natal chart, within your blueprint, there is such a treasure of knowledge that gives you insights in the way that you communicate, the way that you tend to show up. Also, how you maybe numb out. What are your pitfalls when it comes to visibility? What is your true desire? How do you love? How do you receive? All of those things are in your natal chart. It gives you such a deep understanding of your own qualities. It gives so much peace and understanding when you fully accept what you're capable of. There are so many things that as a young kid gave us so much energy, made us so enthusiastic. But in reality, when we grow up, we feel like we need to behave. We feel like we need to fit in. We feel like we need to comply with what society is expecting from us. Like, for instance, when I was younger, I always wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be on TV. I just, some kids stand in front of the mirror with a brush and they sing. Well, I stood in front of my mirror with a brush, but I was presenting. I was hosting shows. But that's not a career. That's not something that was encouraged to pursue. So I took a lot of different roads. And here I am today. I'm presenting my own podcast. I record videos. I go live in my Facebook group. I have developed a way to take that stage. I'm a Leo. My sun is in Leo. So I like to shine. I like to help others to see the light within them. I'm using my strengths, my talents to help others. Because I am stepping up and owning what I really enjoy, which is standing on stage. And even though right now We cannot really stand on the stage because of the current conditions. But I'm choosing to take my own stage, to create my own stage. Not simply for the sake of, oh, I just want to be seen. No, I want to use my talents and my gifts to help others see the light within them. I am using my talents to guide others to fully step into their potential. And that is astrology as a strategy. It teaches you how to step in your full potential. Astrology is not going to tell you anything new. Astrology is not going to blow your mind with something you've never heard before. Astrology will actually confirm and strengthen your ability to step into your own greatness. This confirmation is something that helps us really step into our full potential, really step into the greatness that you are meant to bring into this world. Astrology will help you to back up what you already know deep down inside. It's something that wakes up within you. The moment you hear it, you go, yes, I knew it. The moment you hear the confirmation that this is what you're meant to do, this is what you're good at. This is using it strategically. Know when to do what. Simplest example, Mercury retrograde. For some people, it's the best time ever. For other people, it's a little bit more challenging. When you know a Mercury retrograde is happening, when you know where it is affecting you in your life, you can use that time, first of all, as reflective time, as a time to really tune into what it is that you're working on. And at the same time, know what tasks would fit the Mercury retrograde and how they would benefit your business and how they would benefit your personal growth. Like I said, it's a tool for self-realization and self-actualization. It takes awareness and it takes a kind, loving look at what you're doing and how you can shift that to create the impact that you want. Astrology as a strategy is not something outside of yourself. Astrology as a strategy is waking up that part within yourself that might have been dormant for a while, that might have been asleep and is ready to be woken up. It encourages you to go to that place that you know you're capable of. It encourages you to go further than you thought was possible. And the beauty of it is, it actually takes less effort. That is so important to remember. It takes less effort than you think. There is more joy and ease waiting for you. It's not something that you can achieve once you reach your certain income goal or when you have bought that certain thing. No, this is first and foremost about being. To be the person that you're meant to be. So you can do the things you're meant to do. So you can have the things you're meant to have. Not the other way around. Astrology will give you so much peace and so much permission to fully step into your potential. Because you have an impact to make into this world. And in this podcast series, I'm going to walk you through very simple steps on how to use astrology as a strategy in your everyday life. You don't have to study astrology. You don't have to know all the planets, know all the signs, understand every single thing. This is about taking small steps every single day to stay connected to your true core desires, to stay connected to owning your greatness and guiding others to their greatness. Astrology as a strategy. Simple, effective, and available to you every single day. Thank you so much for listening to the Astrology as a Strategy podcast again. I love to hear your insight from this episode. Screenshot and tag me on Instagram in your stories or on your feed. You will inspire others to have more joy and ease in their business, and I love to see who's listening. One last thing. I love creating free content for you. Would you like to do something in return?
go to iTunes, subscribe, and leave a review. This helps the podcast to be found more easily so this message can reach more people. Thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you next time.